Hello, you guys. Welcome back to another episode of
She Means Well.
Hi, Bay.
Hi. Hey, you.
Hey, you.
Okay.
We got to come clean.
What? About our shirts?
Yeah.
We just sat down and I'm like, I really don't think I like this sweatshirt. And Abby's like, I don't know about this tank top. And then we just looked at each other.
Switched. And it worked.
Yeah. I like this shirt.
Mm-hmm. I like the sweatshirt. Might not give it back. Comfy.
So we've been together all morning. We just did Abby's hair.
Good. It's a team
She got a
effort.
chop top.
I did, you guys. Look, it's short. It's short for me.
Abby was like, short. What'd you say? Like, this is short hair or something. Short girl hair.
Yeah. Short girl hair, summer hair.
It's so cute. I really like that length.
Thank you. It's fun. It feels so much easier.
Uh-huh.
I have extensions and it just being, I've never had short extensions.
Yeah.
And this is so fun and it feels so full.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's so
Perfect
cute.
timing for my Uganda trip. It's going to be low maintenance.
I have a prayer request. You guys, my skin is kind of freaking out again. And I think I'm onto something. I think it really is something to do with my jewelry. Because my ring finger, look, like bumps on it.
Yeah.
So I took that ring off when I noticed that. And then it was a couple days later that I noticed it pop up on this finger, which is normally where I wear my other ring. So I'm terrified that has something to do with jewelry. And they're silver. So
Are you wearing any earrings?
no. And then I wondered.
Are you wearing your toe rings?
No.
Sorry,
I don't wear those.
I know. Not a time to joke.
I know. But it doesn't really, I'm not giving it energy. Like, I'm not itching it. It doesn't itch like it did last time.
Okay.
But it all started again with the back of my left heel started itching and there was no bumps on it or anything. And if anyone knows anything, my doctor told me that it was, oh gosh, what was it? Some type of eczema.
Top.
Dyshydrotic eczema, which can be brought on by stress and whatever. I keep being like, I love my life right now.
I know. Am I stressed?
Going on, yeah. So I literally don't know, but I have no hives. So I've jumped back on the low histamine diet.
Okay, so you got off of it.
Yeah, it's literally everything. It's like,
so maybe you just need to stay on it.
It's no, like no.
Is it bad?
Well, it just basically how it's explained to me is like when you have allergies, the whole bucket thing, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like the bucket's full of water and
Body's
then
had too much.
Yes, and then there's maybe like holes in the bucket when your histamine levels are too high. And so it's like what would normally not tip the bucket over is like there's holes poked in the bucket.
Okay.
So what would normally be irritating wouldn't, whatever. And this is so heartbreaking for me. But I realized maybe I have been eating foods high in histamine. One of them being avocados. And recently there was a whole bunch of avocados and I'm like, oh, these are about to go bad. So I'm doing avocado toast. I'm doing guacamole. I'm eating it for a snack with cottage cheese, which is so good with everything but the bagel. But yeah, I wonder if that started to trigger my heel. And then I started to itch my heel.
Right. That would make sense.
It's just crazy though. It's exactly where my rings are. But then on this hand, I left this gold one on because I've never had irritation from that. But then there are a couple bumps on my finger, whatever. And just
correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't you say when you were last doing your research that in hair and a lot of the chemicals that you work with, aren't there like metals and stuff?
Well, yeah, I was kind of going down this whole theory that I might be allergic to nickel.
Yeah.
Which I wouldn't be shocked if I do have a sensitivity because of the jewelry thing.
Doesn't your sister have?
Mikey, her rings like bug her.
Your sister.
My sister. Who's that?
Yeah.
And when we were talking about my makeup and my eyes not watering, I think that in a lot of foundations there are like trace amounts of nickel and I've been using a tinted moisturizer and they're not watering. So it could be like a whole nickel situation.
Have you told your doctor that this is happening again?
No, I have an appointment, I think
Okay,
soon,
good.
like a normal follow-up. So
Oh,
I've debated. Jordan's like, I really feel like you should call her and like get
I
in.
think so.
But I'm just like,
And your heel isn't itchy?
it is right now.
Oh, it is.
Like
Like,
right
right now?
now.
Like, that's all you can think about?
Yeah. And I need to just, I haven't since I told my sister the other day, I was like, I have been itching when no one's looking on my heel.
Bae.
I know, because it just itched, but then there was no bump. It's so annoying.
Yeah.
But
So you were
so
telling me about you've been doing cold showers lately.
yeah, and so I think that is maybe helping with the inflammation not
Yeah.
get so crazy.
Yeah.
So I really want to get into that and the whole theory of that, but I think that will go hand in hand maybe a little bit with a future episode we're gonna do.
Okay.
But yeah, every morning I've been doing at least a minute and a half, freezing cold, and I've
Right
been
when you get in?
no, I'll do my normal shower.
Okay.
And I've played around with it. Mikey apparently is like, we both were just like, oh my gosh, we live together. And I feel like, why are we not talking about this? But I'm like,
She's a vet? She's
dude,
been
I've been
doing
doing
it?
that. And she's like, me too. And we're like, we've both been doing it, suffering
Oh.
in silence.
Yeah.
And I think she's been doing it a little bit longer than I have. But yeah, it all started last summer when we went to Cheyenne's and we cold plunged in her
For
like
5
whole
minutes?
5 minutes.
I can't believe that.
I can't believe
Do
that
you think
either.
someone that's done the shower cold plunge and then just like the normal like bath, I guess,
Yeah.
cold plunge, which is harder?
The shower.
That's what I figured.
Because
I've never done it in the shower.
you can essentially make it hot and it's
You have that temptation.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I almost feel like when you're fully submerged, you just get numb.
Mhm.
And so
Yeah, you start losing feeling.
yeah, so Mikey does like 30 seconds forward, 30 seconds backward, 15 seconds forward, 15 seconds backward.
Oh, wow.
I just did that cuz I want to try out her method.
Yeah.
But what I have been doing is starting with my shower hot, wash my body, wash my face, or not hot, but you know, when I wash my
Yeah.
face, whatever. But then I was moving it like increments getting colder and colder and
Ooh.
colder, which she's like, "Okay, I've heard that like the initial shock is better when it's just like freezing." But in theory, I'm like, "But I'm taking a cold shower, quote unquote, for a longer period of time." Like when it gets like kind of cold, really cold, like in theory, I'm taking a colder shower for longer. So I'm curious on the science.
Huh.
I don't know if it needs to
Interesting.
like for
And
the
how long?
benefits.
How long are you in the freezing for?
Well, I think I was in it longer when I was doing the increments because I would stand in it until I would get like not used
Till
to it
failure?
until it didn't hurt as bad and then I would
Uh-huh.
go colder
Oh.
and then go colder. And so then I feel like I could stay in the freezing cold a lot longer than when I just go freezing cold.
Oh, interesting.
But what
Well, because your
really
body acclimates to the cold.
right. And so I kind of feel like it's science by Baylie, like more beneficial to be in the cold longer. But I think they
Mm.
say collectively 11 to 13 minutes per week is all you need to do to reach max benefits.
Oh, okay. I wanna
So,
try this.
yeah.
I'm going to.
So I would highly recommend and suggest to do the breathing exercise that we did along
That
with
was
it.
amazing.
Wim Hof, the Iceman,
Mhm.
he's insane. He like I don't remember if it was E. coli or something, but he got willingly injected with something to like test his immune system. And yeah, actually did take notes on a video to talk about that later. But yeah, it's so interesting because there's so many benefits. Like your skin, your metabolism, your inflammation, whatever. There was something else I was just gonna say. I just lost my train of thought. Um, but yeah, so I do think it's helping with my skin. Oh, the dopamine. This is like what really got me going is I'm doing all this research for our ADHD brain health episode coming up. And I remember a long time ago, I saw like a TikTok or something and it was talking and I may have said this on the pod before, but um with dopamine, after you have like one beer, it only takes 7 minutes to like reach like peak dopamine. And then it not only plummets, but it goes below the original baseline of where your dopamine was sitting at.
Interesting.
And then cocaine, and I might have these 2 backwards, but it takes 9 minutes before you reach that moment with the peak of your dopamine, and then it plummets below the baseline, so that's why people are like, "I wanna have more drinks, I wanna have more cocaine," because it's like, you're searching for this, like, but you can't go back up. Like, your
Oh,
dopamine won't get as high as it was
okay.
after the 7 and 9 minutes, but after cold plunging, your dopamine continues to climb for hours, and it never goes below the baseline.
Oh my.
So,
I felt so alive after cold plunging last
yeah,
summer.
you gotta try it in
Like,
the
I was
morning.
addicted. Like,
Yes.
I gotta have it again.
And I got with this new planner I got, it came with a habit tracker, and every day it feels really good to mark off cold shower. Like, every day I've done it for almost a week,
Good job.
and I don't think I can ever start my day another way.
Wow.
Like, I'm hooked. And I came into work the other day, I was like, "Sheena, I feel like I'm on crack." And she's like, "I wanna feel like I'm on crack. What do you do?" Like, "Dude, you gotta try this cold shower thing." And she's done it the last couple days too, and she's like,
She's loving it?
"Yes."
Okay.
Because
Well,
it
I'll
got
check in
me
with you because I'm gonna start doing it.
yeah, it got me thinking about, when I doing all this ADHD stuff, I'm not on medication right now, but, when, like, it kicks in, that's how it felt. My brain
Wow.
was like, "Oh, so
Like
just
something was
like"
triggered.
Yes.
Wow.
Crazy.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool.
Speaking of your coworker,
Ah!
I've been dying to know, how was your work trip? Bailey
Okay.
always comes back from these little work trips with the funniest, best stories, and she's been keeping it from me.
Oh my
Tell
gosh.
us.
Because I was dying to tell you, and I'm like, "I have to wait until the podcast."
Okay, I'm all
Okay,
ears.
so there's a couple different stories. There's 3, actually. Okay, so we, as a salon, went to Leavenworth, and there was, like not everybody could go. I think there was maybe 9 of us. So I'm riding in the car with 4 other girls, and we, are just chatting, and somehow we get on the topic of corn dogs, and we're like
What?
just like a gas station, been under the warmer all day, corn dog sometimes just hits, you know?
Like
Well,
E. coli,
yeah,
like
and, like, on the stick, the crunchy part, like
oh, yeah.
Yes.
Little nibs.
Yeah, so then we pull off and we're going into this gas station on our way, and Chelsea walks in and she sees the food warmer and she turns around so excited and she goes, "Corn dogs!" And she was like, "You guys, I'm getting one." So then I go to the bathroom, go to the coffee stand, come back to the car. I've seen no such thing of a corn dog, but Chelsea sucked it down. She ate it so
You
fast.
didn't even see it,
Didn't even see it, but
and
she
you're
was
riding in the same car.
yeah, but she was the driver, so maybe whatever. She ate it fast, let's just say. So then we get in the car and she just whips it in reverse and she drives like a big mom GMC and she was like whipping it back and we're like, "Whoa, girl, like you're really going fast." And she throws it in park, jumps out of the car, and she
Wait,
runs
are you
over
on
to
the
these
freeway?
bushes. No, we're still in the gas station parking lot.
Oh, okay.
Goes over to these bushes and starts to yak. And so then she looks back at the car like,
Corn
yeah. So then
dogs!
she gets back in the car and you know her, she's just so expressive when she
Yeah.
tells stories. And she's like, "You guys, this happened to me the other day at the salon, but I ate a cracker and it's stuck. Like the corn dog is still in my throat. It's stuck and I can't throw it up. It's literally stuck." And she's like, "I threw up the cracker at the salon, but it's not coming up." Like, and then then she starts to drive again and she's like, "You guys, it hurts." And she's like, "I don't know what to do. I've been chewing my whole life and this has never happened."
She forgets how to chew.
And she's like, she's like, "I'm not trying to be a buzzkill." And like a couple other girls got buzz balls. And she's like, "Can you guys just like, please keep having fun because I'm not trying to be a buzzkill." And we're like, "Do you want someone else to drive? Like, are you okay?"
Like, can she breathe?
And yeah, and she's like, "I can breathe." And we're like, "Maybe drink some water." And she's like, "It literally won't go past. It hurts." And so she was driving with a spitter. She's like, "No, I get car sick." And this is honestly distracting.
tune.
Literally. She's like, "It's distracting me." We pulled over 6 times maybe. And she's pulling over literally on the freeway. Vroom, vroom, vroom.
Trying to puke?
Yes, trying to puke. And then
Poor thing.
we get to town and we go to Safeway to get groceries for the weekend. And she's like, we had been Googling like maybe bubbles will help. Or like take a sip of this buzz ball, that'll disintegrate it. Like
Yeah.
so then She's like, "Ew, no, I can't." So we go into Safeway. She goes to the gas station, gets a Coke, and she's like, I open it and took a sip because it said bubbles can help like move
Uh-huh.
it around. And she's like, immediately it's all coming back up. So she's like, I ran out, I stole the Coke, and I text her, I'm like, hey sister, how's it going? And she's like, oh, just trying to puke behind Safeway. And she's like kind of panicking. So she calls her husband and he's like, maybe you should call the nurse hotline. Like, if you can't get it out.
Yeah.
So she does. And the gal's like, you seem pretty calm, but there is like a medication you could get at like urgent care that will make you nauseous and it will make you throw it up. But like your saliva will break it down. But because it's a protein, it's a meat. And we're like, what even is a corn dog?
I know. Are we sure it's a
Yeah.
meat?
But she's like, if it was bread, it'd be either whatever. So then we go drop the groceries off and she's like, yeah, I think I can feel it moving. Like it still hurts, but it's like, it's working. My saliva is breaking it down. And then we go to the roller coaster and we go do the roller coaster and she's just like living, laughing, loving. I'm like, did it dislodge? Like screaming. And she's like, no, it still freaking hurts. So then we're driving in two different cars, like over towards like where our reservations are for dinner. And she's in a different car than me. And then the other group shows up and we're like, where's Chelsea? They're like, we dropped her off at the hospital. So she literally went to the hospital. And meanwhile, our other
Dude.
coworker is driving herself. It's like her first time away, leaving her newborn. And she was like, I drove past the hospital and just thought to myself, like, who would be in the hospital in Leavenworth? And she's like, meanwhile,
Chelsea.
Chelsea's in there. And Chelsea's like afraid of needles. Like anytime she gets
Oh.
Botox, she's like, I just please go faster.
Yeah.
When she's pregnant, like it's just a whole thing. She's like, I will cry. And they told her she needed an IV. She's like, I can't, I won't, I mustn't. Like I won't.
An IV?
Because to give her this medication.
Oh, the one that makes you nauseous.
Yeah. And then they were like, well, we could do it in a shot form. And so I had text her, I'm like, how you doing? And she's like, my phone has 3%. So we ended up bringing her a charger. And she said, Becky walked back there with the charger and she just starts crying because she's like, I don't want to get a shot. I get an IV.
Somebody stayed with her, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But at first, no. And so then I'm sure she was like, no, don't.
Yeah.
I'm fine. I'm fine.
She would be like, I do not want to be the buzzkill. Get out of here.
Literally.
Yeah.
So then we're at dinner and we're telling our waitress what's going on. And then eventually we did get a text that she puked it up and we're all like, yeah,
the girl can puke.
I know. And our server was like,
Let's
I'm so happy for
rally.
you. Yeah.
Oh.
So that was that. And then let's see. There's. I said there was 3.
Could she eat? Did she eat?
No, nothing could get. I don't think she tried. I think she was too. She couldn't even drink water.
So she didn't. She couldn't.
Well, after she puked, she was. Oh, is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Like, did she eat the rest of the
Oh,
weekend?
yeah.
And did anything get stuck?
No, we're like, should we put your food in a blender?
She should get like a scan.
I know. She's like, I asked her. I'm like, has anything like that happened again? She's like, no, but I'm terrified, and I
Yeah.
chew my food a lot better now.
She should get like an ultrasound of her neck
Neck.
or thyroid or something.
Okay, another thing that happened that is not so funny, but I'll follow this up with a funny thing. So the next day we go to float the river. And
You texted me right before you left.
for the river?
Yeah.
In the hairy
remember?
swimsuits? No.
Yeah. And I was like, whatever you do not tie together.
Oh, I know.
You're like, well, I've heard this is a calm one. I said, it doesn't matter.
I know. No, literally, this was so fun. And it was warm. I was nervous about being cold.
Wow.
It was like 76 degrees in the water.
Okay,
was
that's
like-
a little too warm.
It was great.
Okay.
It was great.
Wow.
But I did check my phone when we were on the river. It was 97 degrees outside. So it was great. But so we pulled it in and my car went to go get ice for like the cooler or whatever. And then there was another car that came, our other half, and they were there for maybe 10, 15 minutes before us. And so our car pulls in, we get out, we're putting on sunscreen, and then a couple minutes, pretty much after I got out of the car, this Jeep Cherokee comes like barreling down into this parking lot where we were.
Were there other people there?
No. And so they were like racing to this car. 3 people get out, 2 males and 1 female. And I'm like, are they about to go punch somebody? Like I thought
In a
maybe a
hurry.
fight was gonna break out. Yeah. And they run over to this minivan that was like 3 or 4 cars down from Becky's car. And they pull out a 1-year-old, like probably 1.5-year-old little boy that was left in the car on a 97-degree day. No idea how long how long he was in there. He could have died. I think that they thought that they were probably like, that was a possibility. You can't obviously leave anything in the car like that. And the girl was like, so then
So nobody else was in the car but the little baby?
yeah, they forgot him.
For how long?
I don't know. Or Becky's car was
Like, they,
there.
like, carpooled with someone and then forgot the baby? That's kinda what it seemed
Yes,
like?
like there was
Okay.
another car with this party or something.
With
I
the
don't know.
parents, and then the
Well,
parents were
so
like, "Oh, shoot, home alone."
literally. So we have
Oh
this
my
bag of ice
god.
and we're all like in shock. And there's only 2 girls in our group that aren't moms, me and one other girl. Which I mean, not even being a mom, I'm still like, hello.
Yeah.
And Sheena's like, ice, ice. Do you guys need ice? And so we run over. They have this wet, cold towel around the baby. He's red as a tomato. His hair is so sweaty. It's stuck to his head,
Is he crying?
screaming.
I bet.
And they were like, we couldn't hear him. We were outside of the car and we couldn't hear him crying. So I almost wonder if he was like asleep, like so hot, sleepy.
Oh,
He was probably asleep when they pulled in. That's why they didn't get the baby out. They forgot him because he was so quiet. But then the girl is saying, I'm just the aunt. I'm just the aunt. So the mom wasn't there. I
honestly, Baylie, like, she probably just didn't wanna look bad. I mean, an aunt, that looks bad too, but,
Yeah.
like, I'm sure she didn't wanna admit that she was the mom.
I no. I feel like if it was
Really?
the mom, she wasn't the one holding the baby.
Oh,
So I wonder if there was the dad,
who was
maybe
holding the
one
baby?
of the guys.
What
And
was what were they saying?
I think they were in shock. They were pretty quiet. And then
Did they seem like normal people?
yeah, they were probably like over 35. And yeah, they
Did they
had
seem like they were on anything?
no. No, they seriously seemed in shock, and Becky had her hydro jug full of, like, electrolyte water.
How do you forget a baby?
I don't know, and Becky was like, "Do you guys want any of this? It's just electrolytes," and the lady had the nerve, and she was like, "I really don't know what's in that water." She could not have been the mom. The mom would have been like, "Yes, please." Yeah. So, we don't really know, but they were on the phone with 911, and then they ended
Oh,
up
they called 911?
yeah.
Okay.
So then they drove away, and we're kinda like which I don't know if they drove up to the hospital. Couldn't come to think about it, they drove away without him in a car seat because his car seat was in the car, I would imagine.
Maybe they just weren't thinking, well, obviously, they're not thinking straight, but they're probably such, like, in shock and
Yeah.
put that baby in a car seat, though.
Oh my gosh.
Baylie, that's terrible. I've
Yeah,
never heard of anything like that.
I know. So then he had to have been in there this is being generously nice, at least 10 minutes on the minimum, minimum, minimum. 97-degree day. I don't know how long it would take, someone to die, but, like, people that happens in the summer.
Yeah, don't fact check me on this, but I think it was Ohio recently. This man just went to prison for manslaughter for leaving a child in
His
the car.
daughter, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and she died. The kid died.
Oh my gosh, and Sheena was like afterwards, of course, we're all talking about it, and she was like, "Kate, you guys, honestly, we have to stop talking about this right now because I think I might spiral." So when we're like, "Okay," so we all stopped talking about it until that night. It was
Wow.
crazy.
So do you feel like that put a damper on the float for a little bit, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're all kind of in shock, but then after Sheena said that, I'm glad she did because I think we all would have kept kind of like
Yeah, dwelling on
talking
it.
about it. Yeah, so then we all kind of just like put it in a box and
Yeah. Obviously, like, that would be so awful to go through not as a mom, but it just hits different, I'm sure, when you are a mom and being a part of something like that happening, right?
yeah, I know. Terrifying.
Yeah. Wow.
Like somebody's never babysitting again.
Okay, follow up with the funny one.
Okay, then the funny one.
Can you tell us what bathing suits?
Oh, have we talked about this on the podcast?
I don't think so.
Anyway, my coworkers, all of them, I didn't, and 2 other girls didn't either, which I kind of feel like a bump on a log. Like, should I have been a better sport? They all wore like the fat, hairy, naked man swimsuits.
Insert picture here, question mark?
I know. I need to verify that they'll let me, but it was so funny because especially Chelsea's like matched her skin tone. And I'm like, dude, it looks like your body. And then we were on the float and we ran into another girl and she's like, my brothers. And it was her birthday and she's like, I was just trying to do something crazy.
That is funny.
Yeah.
When Baylie told me that they were doing that, maybe we did talk about this already, but Baylie, I'm like, what do you mean? Like, what do the swimsuits look like? She turns her phone around and is like, Abby, this. I am not doing that. I'll put that picture in the episode.
Yeah, you can use that.
Hilarious.
I can't. I hate to be a buzzkill, but couldn't be me.
Okay, sister, give me the funny story. I need something light after the.
Yeah, I'll bring it back up.
Yeah.
So we, that night, are sitting around playing games. And also, like, it's just so fun when you are around people and you just, I have not laughed like that in too long. Like, it was the whole time. It was just so funny. But we're all playing this game. And my coworker, I have to ask her approval. So if I can share this, I don't think she'll care. But we're sitting there and she's like, oh my gosh. Oh no. No, no, no. Oh no.
Oh, no.
And one of my coworkers had just recently done a boudoir shoot for her husband. And like, and she got like all of these prints done.
Oh no.
She was going to put a couple up in her room, like big prints.
Yeah.
And then she also got a lookbook of like all of the photos.
Okay.
Her husband texts her, our package was stolen. Our package was stolen. And he knew what it was. And she's like, what do you mean? It said, and he's like, it said it was delivered. And they're just on FaceTime. She's spiraling and everyone just continues playing. And then we're like, what is going on? And then she tells us, obviously. And then intermittently, he would hang up. And then she'd be like, she would just jump right back into the game. And I'm like, I would be spiraling. Long story short, the neighbor, it had gotten dropped off at the neighbor's house.
Oh.
And she's like, well, they normally have like a Thanksgiving thing that we've never been invited to. So maybe we'll be invited now. But I guess the grandma was in town, like watching the kids.
But it was packaged up. It's not like they saw the photos.
But they were scared that someone's going to open it or someone stole it.
Yes.
And then they would obviously open whatever they stole and be surprised.
I'd be scared.
Yeah. And so, but the grandma was babysitting and just picked up the mail, didn't even look at the name.
Yeah.
And so they were able to find it.
Wow.
I know. Isn't that funny though?
That is funny.
Yeah. So
Dang,
she was like,
scary.
Intact.
Nervy.
I know.
Okay, I need to tell you something.
What?
And it's so cringy. And I want to talk about this for a second. I'm going to do long story short. But about a year ago,
Oh no.
a little over a year ago, I was talking to this guy and he didn't live in Washington. And I went down and visited him. And you know about this guy.
I remember.
Yes, you do. We were living together. And he was not a good guy, but seemed like a good guy, whatever. And while I was there, we were planning on spending a day in Malibu. And so he typed out like a shared note. And it said, spending Malibu with my babe. And literally like 3 days ago, I haven't talked to this dude in like a year. 3 days ago, it was like, this person edited the shared note. And I'm like, wait, what the heck? So I tapped on it and it was changed to Malibu with Jazz. I'm like, what the heck? One, I didn't realize I had this shared note with him. I mean, not that I go through my notes and like, clean them up.
Notes have got to have stuff in there from 2014. Like,
yeah, serious. Me like typing out a song or
no,
something.
literally. Wait, what?
Yes, dude. And like, what the heck?
Wait, like you think he was using the same note? Why not just make a new note?
I don't know. I feel like there could have been a couple different options here or scenarios. Either he was using the same note to spend the day in Malibu with a different girl, or I could see like a crazy toxic girlfriend, maybe like out of spite, like changing it because it's a shared note.
So she would see it shared.
So she would see it was shared and that I would have been notified.
Hey, if that's the case.
And you guys, I'm sorry, but
Get
this
out.
dude is so cringy. Yeah. So cringy. And so if you guys knew.
Okay.
Dude.
Everything about that is so cringy.
And Bailey's met him. And so you know
I had the pleasure.
how sick this is. And he's very unhealthy. And so I feel like it's more so the second option. Or he changed the note to her name
Yeah.
in case she were to find the note. But why wouldn't he just delete it
Right.
if he's a toxic
I'm
person?
thinking he's so lazy and like
reusing the list.
Yeah, like didn't want to
'Cause they
waste a
were,
piece
like-
of paper.
Yeah, it was like, I think like stuff to get at the store,
Yeah.
like stuff like that. And like places to go look.
You know how when a shared note is edited, how it'll be highlighted? Like what's
Yeah.
changed? Was anything changed?
her name was added
That's just it.
instead of Babe. It was Jazz.
And you could leave babe, but the timestamp would be
Yeah.
a year prior.
Yeah.
Just delete the note, my dude.
Yeah. Sickening.
Aren't you glad?
Weird.
Aren't you glad you have Connor?
Oh my gosh. Yes. So glad. Ew, 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 ew. I can't even. Thank you, Jesus, for the transformation you've done in my heart.
That is so cringy.
Yeah. The other day at work, this is so random, but the other day at work, I walked in, and Kenzie was assisting with an extraction, so the patient is sedated with Dr. Z in there, and she's just like she'll say anything. She's outspoken. She's pretty similar to us. Like, she just makes weird comments, but like I get it.
Yeah.
Like I get her comments. They make sense to me, but other people are like, wait, what? You know?
Mhm, mhm.
But I walk in and the room is quiet. Well, you can hear the monitor beep, beep. That's like the only thing, and like maybe suction. She goes, Abs, you wearing your cakes today?
Okay.
And I was like, girl, you will not catch me dead in those. She was like, you're suctioning and it's down on your foot.
You get the suction and pick it up.
Anywho.
I'm still riding with them.
Yeah. Are
Mhm.
you? I never took him for a spin.
I know.
Can I?
Mhm.
Just one of them.
I have them in my makeup. Just one. Be a one-eyed bandit.
You guys, I hope you have a great rest of your week. Thank you for tuning in for this week's episode of She Means Well. We will be back with Bailey's ADHD report here soon.
We will
If she can ever focus and
finish it.
we love you guys. Follow us
Me
on
in the cold shower trying to get some inspiration. Okay, we gotta go. This is the second Americano today, and it's
We're a
kicking
little-
it.
All right, you guys. Until next time. See ya.
I just dripped.
Bye. Bye.